All right, well, we got a bit of a problem in our Outback XT. The plastic outlet, well, inlet rather, to the intercooler decided it did no longer want to be a part of the aluminum one. And everybody else would just go say, hey, yeah, I'll get one tomorrow, $300-400, whatever. We don't have time for that. So, this is what we got. I should start and say I tapped all these tabs down, washed everything down with brake cleaner, made sure everything was nice and tight. Of course, there is an O-ring missing, but we're gonna see what we can do. And these are the supplies I have to work with. We got your Loctite Red, good old Permatex spray adhesive, five zip ties, two tubes of E6000, three tubes of super glue, a roll of T-Rex tape, one bag of Sugru moldable rubber, insulation foam, Loctite power grab, 90-second adhesive for those who like to play it fast and loose, and finally steel reinforced JB Weld epoxy. And I put a little thought into this, and you're probably not going to agree with where I'm going to start, but I have a good reason for it. Super glue is very good at getting into cracks, and once it dries, it makes an excellent surface for other adhesives to bond to. So we're going to make sure that we're biasing the plastic as we come around to make sure we get unions between the metal and the plastic. And this is our primer, if you will. Oh, I did go ahead and brush this as well. So everything's nice and clean. That's step one in adhesives. Start with a clean, dry surface. Can't see it here, but this tab on the back actually broke, and that is the one I'm worried about coming right off the turbo. But so far, the super glue is making it into all those nooks and crannies just like I was hoping it to. And you'll have to forgive me if my phone falls off the drawer I set it on. I got my gimbal out here, but the iPhone 13 Pro Max is a little bit too heavy for it, and it was all wobbly and fell on the ground. So this, if I get my fat head out of the way, you might be able to see that we are just trying to laminate these two pieces together. This is not what's providing the bulk of our strength. This is giving our other adhesives something to stick to. And there are a few rather large gaps that the super glue is not going to be able to fill. That's okay. This is just where we're starting out. There's one tube of super glue. I think two is all it's going to take. As always, when you're handling adhesives, you want to work with gloves and your safety squints. And then the second layer, we can be a little bit more generous, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. Really focusing on that area where I think the failure started. See, I'm already gluing my gloves together. And then, yeah, we're just gonna hose her down. Stings the eyes a little bit. I think that should do it. Now, one item I did not display is my ultra high powered UV lamp. And that's gonna come in and help that super glue set up real nice and fast before it wanders into places where we don't want it to be. And you know it's working because that super glue will really start to stink. Also, another thing when you're handling UV lights of this power, it is also a great idea to wear UV protection glasses. These are not those, but you get the idea. Looks pretty cool with my shirt there, doesn't it? So while we're waiting on this super glue to harden up, I'll kind of describe to you what happened. We had just put this this Outback XT 5-speed back together. My technician urged me not to get into boost because we were missing the let's see, the intercooler mount that goes on this side. I didn't think that was much of a problem, but I heeded his warning anyways. Either way, took a wrong turn, had to turn around. And just barely giving it anything. Lost all power, stalled. I'm stuck in the middle of a 2-lane road. And in southern Indiana, not one person stopped and asked me to help. A little bit disappointed in the Midwest there. There was a guy in a Dodge. He said, "What'd you do?" And I said, "I blew up my intercooler." So right now I'm kind of counting how long it takes me to make a lap around here in a somewhat precise manner, because next up we have not the Loctite power grab, not the filler foam, not the T-Rex tape. But I'm gonna take a wild gamble and I'm gonna mix this 90-second adhesive with this 4 to 6 hour adhesive. And if my math is correct, which it's not, I should have at least a couple of minutes. Normally I'll use baking soda, or there's several products that instantly cure super glue on contact, but um, they do build upon your joint, so you have to take that into consideration. Can't for the life of me remember what they're called. I got them at a trade show and they were pretty much the shit. Now that I think of it, I just remembered where they were, but we're here now. So now that super glue is nice and tacky, I'm going to return with one more tool. Now, for all you Milwaukee diehards out there, you know the M18 Impact, the strongest son of a bitch ever, whatever. This is the M18 heat gun. With an eBay battery. This is an M18 heat gun with an OEM battery. It's not gonna heat up quite as quick as your 120 volt one, but I use this tool every single day. Oh yeah. Really getting that super glue aroma. At first, I wired this safety down because I didn't really see a reason for it, but it eventually came loose, and it's habit. And that's just gonna make sure the super glue dries nice and quick, gets into all the nooks and crannies, and prepares us for our next step. It is looking really great on this side. You don't have to worry too much about putting too much heat into it because this individual component gets quite hot. Oh yeah, I'm really happy with the space that this has taken up. I only see about one little crack where air could escape, maybe two. But mind you, this is only prepping for what's to come. I really don't know how good of an idea this is. Mixing both a fast and slow curing resin, but it is all I have. It is Saturday, and I am not going to be able to come by one of these intercoolers for at least a couple days. So we'll start with the metal reinforced because we got a metal piece. And then we'll just head right into the plastic epoxy since we're gluing metal to plastic, because that's totally how that works. I do have a syringe here, and it is my idea to be able to get it in there, but I really don't think that's going to happen. Whenever you're working with epoxy, the important thing to know is whenever it begins to warm up, that's when it's go time. Just starting to change temperature now, so I'm going to see how it cooperates with this syringe. That worked a lot better than I thought. So I'm going to start by piping this into my problem areas. And yeah, of course, this is going to get a little bit messy, but hopefully that 90-second epoxy will kick in and save the day. All right, we're about halfway around, not making the biggest mess in the world. The epoxy is definitely warm. I sure do hope it's drawing up the syringe and that's not just the vacuum I feel. If this is enough to cover the problem area on the other side, I will be as happy as a clam. Alright. That is all the major gaps filled. See what we can salvage off the runoff. Send it over here. Again, I'm only working with what I got in the shop on Saturday. Could go to O'Reilly's. But this seemed like more fun. Just got a little bit left to go. My safety fingers are beginning to fail me. But with these last 3-4 inches, I think that's going to seal the deal for us. There's that big ass fan just in time to fuck me up. Now when you have your epoxy applied, you can go ahead, throw away your used needles. I'm gonna grab me a towel here, or a lot of towels, and just take care that none of this epoxy is gonna be in an interference area when we go to reinstall the intercooler. Try and keep it look somewhat good. Look for any sort of defects. At the end of the day, I'm really happy with the coverage that I got on the spots where I was most concerned about leakage. And just yesterday I used this metal, was it JB Weld metal infused epoxy, to seal up a nozzle on a CO2 tank, which is somewhere the order of 2,000-3,000 pounds. So this little Outback should be just fine. Or it won't, and then we'll buy an intercooler on Monday. So we'll be back in 1 to 6 minutes to see how this is cured. We'll go to reinstall it and see if she'll take some boost.